What's going on, gamers? And I'd like to welcome you to the first episode here of Franchise Gaming Radio. I myself am Mike, also known as FG Hypnotic, sitting along here with Sean, or you may better off know him as FG Dead,
What up?
and Mr. Clinton, also known as FG Carmine.
What's going on, people? How we all doing?
Just a little info of what we're trying to do here. Just have a little fun talking gaming, music, movies, just any random shit we can think of for an
Yeah,
hour or so.
anything.
So this is something we've been planning for a couple years now. It just finally got the ambition to get off our asses and do it.
Right out.
So
All right, so what are we jumping into now?
basically, the big news that was going around over the weekend about the Titanfall beta.
Right,
Everyone
right.
seems to be going apeshit over it for good reason.
Definitely.
I do not know. I have yet to play it.
Well,
Well,
once you
we're
come up here, you're gonna have to play it.
yeah, we're
Exactly.
Sean's
falling
still stuck in
behind.
the ice age.
All right. I believe one of the questions was, how do we feel about the no campaign?
No
Was it?
campaign in Titanfall. Yes.
Yes.
I
Me,
think. Go ahead.
yeah, me. I think they should have added a campaign. I know nowadays it's mostly just all about the multiplayer. Campaign would have just been an added bonus. However, multiplayer totally kills it. It's amazing.
Yeah, but then again, what they said is these multiplayer games are just so based on multiplayer. Why waste the money putting into a single campaign when no one's gonna play it for more than 20 minutes?
Right.
It's they're
Right.
just trying to make the best game they can, and why waste the time in single player when you can just invest everything into that awesome multiplayer?
I
Right.
agree, and I see both sides of the fence, but I always love a good campaign regardless. So
Right.
Yeah, but there's still gonna be story elements weaved into the multiplayer. I'm not sure how, but they were talking about it's going to be possible.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
and it's going to
Plus,
be
it's.
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just blurting out, man. Plus, it seems like 90% of gameplay nowadays is all multiplayer anyway.
Oh yeah,
So it was a good turn, but a campaign would have been a good bonus to have.
I'm sure if there's enough demand for it, we'll see one in the sequel, or
Yeah,
maybe some possible DLC. But
hopefully.
what was leaked the other day was apparently there's going to be more than mechs. They're talking about monsters and aliens and some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that.
That's
That's gonna be a odd mix.
Yeah, because the art guide gets released, I believe, this week, and some of the
Mm,
photos leaked out of it, and it's going to be
uh,
pretty interesting. Apparently, they're just from what's been leaked so far is they just kind of like circle the map, and they don't attack unless provoked. So I
uh,
assuming it's not
well,
something you're going to want to poke too often,
right. Well, I don't. I'll be provoking those fuckers every time I see them.
and
poke
that's
the
why you're
stick.
going to have the
Poke the stick.
That's
negative KD.
what I
But
But
do.
we
That's how I
but we
roll.
ex-
let's
we
be fair,
expect that.
Yeah.
that's obvious.
It happens.
But yeah,
We
playing
go
that
negative.
beta, it it just made that game so much more wannable. It doesn't do the videos justice. Or the
Yeah.
videos don't do it justice, I should say.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it is from some of the makers of Call of Duty.
It is the two creators of
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Like I'm surprised
If
as that
more-
because Call of Duty just went to shit after Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
like
surprises me about it.
they said, the ones who created it were the only ones that could kill it.
uh, Now, I have a question for you. Prior to
Shoot.
playing the beta of Gears 3 to this, what got you more excited?
Man, that's asking me which turd I love the most.
Oh, there was a I didn't even notice there was a question in there. What was it?
What do you love
Uh,
most? Prior,
what
it got you more amped for the game prior release. Gears 3 beta or this beta?
Uh,
I think I'm gonna say
Gears
this
3.
beta. Ah.
I don't know. I gotta go with Gears.
Well, I say this one because I had already had faith in Gears of War. I
Right,
knew what
right.
to expect. This was like a shot in the dark.
True. Yeah, yeah, true. Because I wasn't even gonna give Titanfall a chance.
Yeah, until I gave you a beta code and made you try
Yeah,
it.
that.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be one of the top games of the year.
Yeah.
But
The only thing I don't like, did you notice the price point for the special edition?
Yeah, we went
$250.
over this on
Yes.
numerous occasions.
It's
Yes, that is insane.
I just
It's a
don't think
system.
there's not enough in there to justify it.
Yeah,
Unless that
yeah,
statue can walk and talk,
Suck
it's
my dick.
yeah.
100
I,
$150 at the most.
right. Like if it was actual 1/6 scale, maybe
The
it would
Gears
be
of War
worth that.
3 I could justify because the Marcus
Right.
statue was badass.
Yeah, and well, and all the extra shit that came with it. Like there was so much shit in there.
Yeah.
That was justifiable, but I don't know. The
Hell, the
price
Call of
point for
Duties even.
Titanfall.
You had
Oh
the
yeah.
remote control
Yeah.
car, the airplane or the hovercraft.
The quadricopter
Yeah.
and then the
Yeah.
remote control car with the camera on it. Yeah.
The care package, I want to say.
Yeah, that was the Black
Oh yeah.
Ops one, I believe, with
Yeah.
the quadricopter. We should know
Yeah, that
Poppy
was.
Frappuccino buys all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's our
Well,
resident
well,
collector whore. But also unleaked through all that through the hex editing was 15 maps supposedly, including a training map. Now
It's
it's
gonna be fun.
interesting if we get the 15 maps off the start, or if there's going to be some of those are going to be downloadable content, and if they are, there's going to be a
Yeah.
huge backlash for on disc DLC.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It's all gonna be extra DLC that you gotta pay for. It's the way they're gonna grab you by the balls.
I'm hoping because I believe they said they were gonna stay away from those kind of transactions for Titanfall, other than regular DLC. But then
Yeah,
again, that's the only thing you can give in a multiplayer only game.
right.
Hopefully, it's other maps other than those base 15.
the
Yeah.
funny thing about that is, though, people are still going to buy it, not knowing it's multiplayer
Oh,
only.
I
It's not clear
don't
on the
care.
box. But this is the
Yeah,
funny
I had no idea.
Yeah.
part of working retail, though. You still have people who buy World of Warcraft to bring it back. I didn't know this was an online only game. I can't play this. The one day and age don't even have high speed internet, but okay.
So that's why you gotta be educated.
They're
Well,
not.
we got it. All right. Where'd it go? Oh, I should have had this prepared.
Either that or they buy a 360. Like, I only have an Xbox. I couldn't read there's a 360 attached to that title.
Well,
Right?
one of our good follows here, Mr. Taylor Burley, asked, "What's your opinion on the evolution of the Grand Theft Auto series?
What
When I
evolution?
first played it, I never thought it would blow up like this. What do you think about what it is today?"
That's kind of good. The what evolution Sean just added. I didn't see a evolution there. It's like it's the same game,
It's the
just
San
a different
Andreas with better
scene.
graphics.
But if
Right,
you
right.
from the very beginning, what we were talking about is how it used to be just the top-down view where you just drove a car,
Okay.
Oh,
compared
to the
to
third person.
where it is
Grand
now,
Theft Auto
to the
3 was
massive scale
revolutionary.
of the highest game, actually the biggest game ever made in sales.
Right. Well, I think it just comes with the time. I mean, they had to do some change. They couldn't just like a drop-down view game nowadays that just wouldn't fly for a game like
Nah, you should try
GTA.
Hotline Miami. That'll change your opinion about top-down
Yeah,
games. You
well,
want to see
it's no
top-down violent?
GTA.
It's better than the original GTA.
I think you
It'll
should take
also make
one,
you
the
break
PSP,
stuff.
China Wars or something like that.
Oh,
But
the Grand
yeah. But I think number 3 was revolutionary, of course.
Yeah,
It made what it was.
three. Yeah. Well,
It has
San
enough.
Andreas too, but
number 3 went to
Yeah.
where it should have been, and then San Andreas made it to what we know today, and it hasn't changed since of graphics and
Well, the
characters.
Yeah.
graphics have changed,
Yeah, that
but
just
it's
comes with
still the
time.
similar gameplay.
You shoot
But
Yeah.
people
I
for some dumb reason, and there you go.
I was never a fan of Grand Theft Auto 4. I just felt it was the exact same thing as what
Yeah.
I played for the last 10 years. But I
Yeah.
actually did. I really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 5. The story and just the ability to switch between three characters and not get stuck into one. They all blended together and just made an insane campaign.
And you wouldn't
Right.
forget the story if
Yeah,
you
but
switch characters. That was the major thing I liked
Yeah,
about it.
I loved it. How they all
yeah.
interacted and
And it's funny how it flies with certain games because like with Resident Evil 6 people bitched about that. All the different aspects to come together to one single campaign.
yeah, but I think that
But
it just because I think people are just sick of Resident Evil in general because it's been on the
yeah,
downslide
true.
for years. But the
Which
thing
we
After
is
have
that
the evil within on its way.
oh, but then again,
Ooh.
when it goes back to the Resident Evil and Grand Theft Auto comparisons, the Resident Evil were
Yeah.
separate campaigns. At the end, they merged. The Grand Theft Auto
Right.
was weaved in and out. You do a mission with one character, get halfway through it, switch to the other guy flying the helicopter, and control the guy on the ground. It just worked perfectly for
Uh,
someone like me. I didn't care for previous Grand Theft Autos.
right. Oh, so they did. I didn't get too far into GTA 5. So
Yeah,
it was
you.
all integrated at the same time.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
a
you can
lot of
switch
Oh,
missions you'd
oh,
between
be
there we
line.
go.
controlling multiple people at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Now there
No,
are gonna be
that's
points
why
where
it
you
worked
can't
then.
switch. Like there's a after you get like Franklin all done, for instance, you can only play Mike for so long, and then but there are points you aren't gonna be able to switch. But for the most part, you can
Yeah.
switch freely.
Ah, gotcha.
But yeah, just seeing it go from that top-down racing game to a multi-billion-dollar franchise is
Fucking
ridiculous.
insane.
But
Just shows we love sex and violence. Welcome to America.
well, another thing
Ah,
that recently came up lately is well, it's actually been talked about for a little while, the Xbox One and their cheaper digital games. Apparently, they announced I believe what's today? Wednesday, Monday. They talked about it. Where they're gonna
I
guinea
think
pig with
so.
Rise, Son of Rome for $39.99 to try to compete with things like GameStop and secondhand stores like
Uh,
that.
well, another thing, I guess Microsoft's is going to be trying to like convert to digital only.
I
So
don't. I
I'm kind
think they
of,
still got a long time before we get to a digital
yeah.
only.
Well, they're talking. I don't know if it was official or not, but they're talking November. They're supposed to be releasing a new Xbox One that doesn't even have a disc drive,
Yeah, that's
and it's
that's
like
understandable.
already.
Because I know people that want an Xbox One, but they don't want it for the games.
Right.
Like they want it for to be able to control the TV and all the features of
Yeah.
it. But that's understandable. But then again,
Right.
I'm not ready to go into the 100% digital age yet. I don't
I like
trust
Yeah.
technology
I
enough.
still support my disc. I take it to my friend's house so they don't have the game, and if you buy it through Microsoft, you can't do that. So
But it depends though.
Yeah.
Some games, if they offer them at a decent price, like if I can buy a digital game for $40 and it's still $60 in the store, yeah, I'll probably do it.
Yeah.
If it's a game I really want. If not, I'll wait for the price drop and pick it up used.
Right.
or like they do like the Steam deals, I do that too. Or if it's insanely
But
like $4, $30 game, of course I'm buying it via
I think
digital.
they should have tried this though with a new game because Rise for $40, you can go to any secondhand store and pick it up for $40.
And it's still not
Right.
worth that price point.
Yeah.
I've yet to play it, so I
Mm.
can't judge
I
it.
watched a lot of video of it, and they say this is what drove me away from it. 6 hour story for
But
what's
Well,
supposed to
what's
be
wrong
6 hours
with
of.
that?
well, there's that comes down to a lot of people with ADD who don't want to sit there and go through a 25-hour campaign.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
guess
most
the
games it's like 6 to 8. Like any story-based
yeah.
game, it's usually a good, 6 to 8 hour campaign.
I don't know. I guess I've been trained via the PS2 days where you spent hours upon hours
Yeah,
Uh,
grinding
but you
for
got to
something.
think then none of us had jobs and everybody had the time to sit around and play for 9 hours a day. I
Tell you
remember
you
what,
I
I beat
know,
sat.
Resident Evil 4 on every difficulty they had.
campaign wise, you know what pissed me off?
What's that?
Fuck it. What the hell was it? Medal of Honor.
Oh
The
yeah,
what
that
the
was a
hell?
joke.
Not Warfare 1. Yeah, on the hardest difficulty, I made it through that bitch in less than 3 hours.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was like Homefront being a hard game.
Yeah, true.
With that being said, the storyline was good at Homefront. It just was really short.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
trying
Anyway,
to
this.
get a copy of Rise, but I just don't want to pay the $40 for it.
Right, right.
I'm hoping to get it when it drops down a little bit.
They say the graphics
Yeah.
are absolutely amazing. They show off the Xbox One's true
Well,
graphic
considering
capability.
it's only native 900p, it's really good from what everybody says.
That's what has me on the fence about a Assassin's Creed 4 because ever since it's become a yearly release, it's pretty much the same exact game in a different environment.
Mm.
And I was watching gameplay for Assassin's Creed 4 on the X1, and I'm just not seeing it.
It's just
But
becoming money grabs, just like Call of Duty
yeah,
has become.
but everybody's saying, "Oh, it's so amazing and shit."
It's it's
I'm
because
just
people
not
love
seeing it.
pirates. It's
Yeah,
pirates.
that's what I was thinking too.
I'm guaranteed what the next one will have zombies in it and then aliens. It's the only logical route to go.
I
Just
kind of got
stabbing.
turned off by it. Now, going to Revolutionary War #3, it's the only reason why I bought it because that's where they took it. It was a good way. It was a
Mm.
good game too, story wise.
Also, it was just announced today the new Wolfenstein that got pushed back quite a bit finally got a release date of May 20th.
Also, if you pre-order it, you get a Doom beta.
Doom 4 beta. I
Nice, nice,
I
nice.
think that alone will carry Wolfenstein
It
because
will.
because of the last Wolfenstein on the 360, that was a nightmare.
Yeah, I didn't even. I had seen some gameplay and I was like, nah, I'll pass.
I think that it's gonna do what the Halo 3 beta did for Crackdown.
I would even go as
That
far as say Bulletstorm did for Bulletstorm because I know me and Clint alone bought it just for get the
yeah,
pre-order
Yep,
the
early.
Gears of War
yep,
beta. Yep.
Yeah,
yep. Only reason.
it was a good game
Yeah,
for 5 minutes.
that's why I believe that's why they're doing
Yeah,
it.
got
Just
too
to get that
repetitive.
game notice. Yeah. But it the video they showed last year of the new Wolfenstein didn't actually look too bad.
Uh, See, now I
I
don't get all these pushbacks and game cancels and shit because whatever happened to Rainbow Six Patriots?
that
It
had to
just
be well
disappeared.
that had to be completely canceled and they started from scratch for Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Yeah, because I
And they
see the
switched it to different.
division.
They switched Ubisoft
Yeah,
makers too.
the developers too changed.
Uh, yeah, because I noticed the division game looks amazing. Cannot wait for that. But I was wondering about the Patriots. I'm like, what the hell ever happened to
The
that?
game I keep getting pissed off gets pushed back is South Park. I mean, I've been waiting for this game. It looks awesome, and they're like,
You
Yeah.
oh
got
yeah, you
what
gotta wait another
3 weeks
6 months.
left? I believe it
Yep.
comes out the beginning of March here.
Let's see if they don't push it back.
Well, the
I
same
think
thing
it's
with
too close.
I'm gonna
yeah,
hold
the
up.
same thing with Watch Dogs. That was originally supposed to be
October
a launch
title.
title.
Yeah.
Yeah, a launch title. They pushed that shit back to like June, July.
It's between the April and June window right now, the first quarter.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Let's see.
Because that's
That's
actually why I held out to get the X1 because I was like, there's nothing really interesting right now.
Really
we
isn't.
got a little less than 2 weeks till we get to the Stick of Truth.
Uh,
It'll be
That's
fun.
that's probably the last game on the 360 that's gonna excite me. I was excited for Dark Souls 2 until I found out they dropped the rating from mature down to teen. I got a feeling they're just gonna bury the game and make it too easy. Because
Uh,
Dark Souls,
Most
anybody who's
likely.
played Dark Souls 1 was a nightmare in difficulty.
You wanted to break a couple controllers on that
Yeah.
game.
I'll be the first to admit I couldn't play it for more than an hour. I just got too angry with it. But I know people who can sit there and play it for hours at a time. Kudos to them.
Right. Let's
But
see. What about upcoming releases?
other than Titanfall,
Let's see.
I
We
think
got Gears of War 4.
there
I
is
thought
They're,
that was, I
nothing
thought that
known
was a
about that
reboot.
right now.
right, but
But with
we're
Black
gonna
Tusk
have
Studio taking over though,
right.
I'm
I'm
what I'm
just
hoping.
hoping it's revived from Judgment. I mean, the
Well,
multiplayer was fun, but Judgment was just a turd.
what
They
I'm
treated
hoping it
Call of Duty.
is. Well, they turned it into an arcade shooter. Not they got away from the competitive shooter side of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But what I'm really hoping they do with it is it's coming close to the 10-year anniversary of the first Gears of War. So I'm hoping we get a
Oh,
remake
true.
of it. Not like just to completely
2016.
remake it. Yeah. So that would be. Plus they got Rod Ferguson back, one of the original
Yeah,
co-creators of it. He wasn't there for Judgment.
Cliffy
right.
B
And
said they have it in the best hands possible right now.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping Microsoft can revive it. I mean, everybody was bitching when Microsoft bought, the license for Gears of War or whatever. But when you think
That
about it, it's like that's good. And the
I
lead
think that
developer.
that pissed off the Sony fans more than anything, because
They
Yeah,
want it.
because
they
that just
always thought
locked
they
it
would get
down.
Gears of War, yeah, and now they
Yep.
have zero shot of ever seeing it. Just like
Well, that's their problem.
PlayStation never seen the first Mass Effect until it got released in the trilogy.
True.
That
So I
irritated me.
think
Mass
I
Effect
think
should have
that's what.
stayed exclusive, I think. Just like I
But
think
back on,
GTA should have remained on the Sony system.
well, that game is
Uh,
way too big to contain on a single console.
It would have drove the sales of that console, though, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but it seems like over the years Sony lost all their huge exclusives.
They
Granted, they
still
still
have
have.
yeah.
Uncharted.
What compared to what they had with the power back in like the late 90s and early 2000s, they had Final Fantasy, they had Metal Gear, they had Crash Bandicoot, which was huge at the time.
Ratchet and
They
Clank,
don't.
they still
Yeah.
got.
Well, Ratchet and Clank are
Well,
pretty much
Twisted
their
Metal, they
new
still
Crash
have.
Bandicoot. Twist. I think Twisted Metal's dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
I still love it.
The original.
We went to GameStop the other day. They still have it at $20 Twisted Metal Black.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, they have games out now for PlayStation 2s they're trying to sell off, and I think that SSX was like $20. I was like, this is crack prices. I still want.
Yeah, I refuse to go to GameStop now.
Yeah,
All of the
I have.
people, all the
Yeah.
people there now, it's all different workers. It was kind of funny because like, as you know, I sold my Gears of War Xbox last year,
Boo.
and yeah, I know,
Boo
I'm
this
kicking
man.
myself in the ass. But when I went to go buy the e console, I went to GameStop first, and it's all new people working in there. Like all the people we know is gone. And I was asking them, what deals they got on. And the dude was talking to me like a dick, like I was retarded or something. So I first
This is
started
all
talking about.
motherfucker.
Dude, well, I don't know, made him feel like a dumbass because I was asking if they had any pre-owned deals going on with systems. And then was telling me the price. I can't remember. That's ridiculous price anyway from buying a new one. But he was telling me, and I was asking him, is it like the old school Xbox? Is it the S console? Is it the E console? And he's like, well, it's a 4 gig system. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yes, I realize it's a 4 gig system, but what system is it? And he's just looking at me like, well, what do you mean? But like he had the attitude, like he's top shit, like he knows everything. So I was like, fuck this. So like I only go to Best Buy now.
I
Dude, we'll go
I
in there
got my
just for a
local
good
store.
show. The guy sings in there. Like the store manager now is not the same store manager. He's like fucking singing and dancing.
Scott?
I don't know his name, but he's a fucking like. We're like in there. He like somebody traded in the Gears of War council, and me and Danny, I'm like Danny, I want. Like that lady like kind of counters that for sale. He goes, yeah. Well, guys, I can't buy it today. I'll call you tomorrow. He goes, I'll just let you know it's there. I'll say let's party, and you'll come and you'll get it. I'm like, wow.
Dude, you know what you do? I've done it so many times when trading in games. Just kind of hang out around the store. And this was when Modern Warfare 3 came out because it was, all hyped up and shit. So, like, a couple days later, I was going to trade it in, and I was just kind of, chilling in GameStop, walking around, looking at shit. And I noticed some chick had Modern Warfare 3. She was going to buy it for, their used price, $54.99. And I was like, hey, I'll sell you mine for 50 right now. And she's like, oh, okay. So, like, we went outside, and I sold it to her for $50. And on the other hand, yeah, right. And on the other hand, GameStop would probably give me like $17 at the most
Oh yeah.
after it being
I've
out for
I've done that
whatever.
a few times. I've hung out in the parking lot and just waited for people to carry in a bag of video games. And I was like, let me see what you got in there.
Yeah,
I've
man, it's
gotten
fucking
quite a few
priceless.
games that way. Oh yeah. They'll give you $8 for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give you 9.
yeah, that's the thing that pisses me off. Like they give you complete shit and then turn around and put a price tag of like
Oh,
54.99. It's
that's
like really?
business though.
They have to.
Yeah,
It's overhead. It's like taking a thing to a pawn shop and expecting a full
yeah,
retail. For it.
yeah. But
I bet.
however, FYE does give you a lot more on trade-ins.
My local store over here gives pretty damn good. I mean,
Yeah,
I go there and I trade everything in, and they even do. Oh, excuse me. They do cash, and it's only like 10% less than credit, which
uh,
GameStop is only like half. You get
yeah,
cash back.
Yeah.
because the recent one, Mortal Kombat, GameStop would give me, I think it was like $2 and something. Went to FYE and got $12
Yeah.
cash. I'm
That's
like,
so
hell
much
yeah.
free thin FYE.
Well, because FYE is still kind of new into the whole used game thing, so they're buying up everything they
Yeah,
can.
Everyone's getting on that pre-owned bandwagon though. Even Walmart's picking up tablets now for
Hmm.
yeah, I
cash.
noticed that. It's odd.
It's because it's cheaper. You can pay dirt cheap and then turn around, upsell it for almost twice the price.
No.
It's business. Buy low, sell high.
I was gonna stick as a
Uh,
refurbished tag on it. Like you
Hmm.
saw.
well, the thing I like about Best Buy with their used games, unlike GameStop, okay, they just fucking toss them aside. Best Buy sends them out, has them buffed, has them repackaged, like in the cellophane shit, and then they sell them.
Yep. They look just like
Yep,
brand new games with a pre-owned tag on them.
exactly. Yep, exactly. And then
I've worked at Best
GameStop,
Buy.
like,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know how many
They
times
s-
I've bought games from there and I've had to return them because they wouldn't even fucking read.
I bought a game. I believe it was LA Noir. I have 3 discs with it. I got it home. I opened it up. I see LA Noir disc 1, disc 2, and Gears of War. I'm like I'm like, really? How do you miss this? The Gears of War disc is red and these LA Noir ones are black. It's like not even possible. Like you couldn't even have
Yeah,
accidentally slid it in the wrong spot because you got
yeah.
G and L.
They were probably like, fuck it, we're missing a disc, so we'll
Well, I
just
took
throw in Gears as a bonus and call it a
I took it
day.
no, I took it back up there and I put it on the counter and he's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Look at this. Tell me what's wrong with it." And he just looked at it for a minute before he realized it. He's like, "Oh." Yeah, I think that might
Yeah,
have been
we're
the
good.
last time I bought something from GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while for me. Ever since their attitude, like they know everything, and it's like, dude, I'm not new to this shit. Don't run your shit with me.
I've grown fond of the mom and pop shops for the used game market. They are
Yes.
really good. I'm a big retro gamer, so I can pick up all my retro games there and not have issues. It's still cheap.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I
Compared
noticed
to
too. Like
Amazon.
the what the hell's it called? Hawk Shop. Yeah, the Hawk Shop
Yeah,
here.
pawn shop, yeah.
Yeah, Like you'll find fucking scores there. Like the chick I work with found the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre Steelbook for like $3 there, and I was like, oh no way.
I want.
Yeah, well she gave it to me.
Oh, that's sweet of her. That's a sweetheart.
Oh, and also looking forward to, they haven't officially announced, but a while ago when the X1 first came out, I found a list of 14 or 15 so games that are being developed for the X1. Alan Wake being one of them.
I would love that.
Me too. I
I would go
cannot wait.
bananas.
Yes.
Mm.
And somebody was, I think it was Matt, won't use last name, was telling me, I've been saying there's gonna be a Gears of War 4 for almost a fucking year now. And they're
There's no
telling
question
me
about
no.
that though.
Yeah, but it was on that list, but it wasn't official. But
That's
I've
like
been saying there's gonna
that's
be
like saying they're
Gears.
gonna make another Halo. You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, definitely.
I'll
Yeah.
say last names. White.
He'll never listen to this anyway. But
Yeah, true.
another big thing that got me excited the other day was The Evil Within finally got a release date.
Yes.
August 26th,
Yes.
2014.
Yes.
And then to our European friends, you got August 29th. But they usually
Gonna
get their
be
games on
amazing.
Friday. Oh yes. Just from that 13-minute gameplay video they showed, it seems like real
Yep.
survival horror.
Oh yes.
It's just
I'm hoping for a new Silent Hill. The actual good Silent Hill, because Downpour was complete shit.
Okay, since we're on the
Homecoming
survival
wasn't very
horror,
good either.
I would like to point
Yeah.
out that's what killed Resident Evil. It's no longer survival horror. It's Gears of War with a
It's
teammate.
action, yeah.
Which I don't like. I
Well-
like the idea that I only have 2 bullets. How the hell am I
Right.
going to get through this room?
Well, they
Well,
did
what
the
they're-
same turn with Dead Space. The first Dead Space was pretty much survival horror, and then Dead Space 2, they integrated a little more action. And then Dead Space 3, I don't
It's
give a shit. I loved
It's
it.
action with jump
Right.
scares, is all it is.
Right,
And jump scares
exactly.
aren't survival horror.
I still loved it. I love my Dead Space. But they just keep jumping from survival horror to integrating more action and shit like that.
Fuck, I think Resident Evil 6, was it button action scenes? Interactive buttons?
There was
Like,
even
yeah,
a Resident
what
Evil
was,
5.
Oh.
4 was alright, but 5 definitely killed it.
Yeah,
4 was alright if
five,
you're
five.
still by yourself, but
Giving you a partner absolutely destroys any hope of survival horror.
with
Yes.
that being said, me and Mike sure in hell did enjoy that Resident Evil 5 morning playing that together, did we not?
Yeah, for the hour until we realized, uh-oh.
Yeah. Like, the
guys play-
co-op is fun, but it takes
But
away
it's
from
still,
the
yeah, it's still
original
not Resident
game.
Evil.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun and all, but it's not how it's supposed to be.
Correct.
What was, I believe it was on PlayStation 2, I think it was Resident Evil Outbreak, which was the online-only
Oh,
Resident
Code-
Evil.
Oh.
No,
it was
Code
Outbreak.
Veronica for some
It was
reason.
it was the online-only game. There was no
Ah.
voice chat. I believe it was up to 4 or 6 people.
I can tell
And
you all
you're-
about it. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
4
you-
people. Me and my buddy Ryan used to play as I stole his little sister's adapter for online. We played it all the time off of dial-up, and like all you had was voice commands off the left D-pad. Help me over here, Kevin.
Yep.
Kevin.
Fuck,
And
Code
it was
Veronica, I couldn't
was a
even
fun
make it out of
game.
the goddamn bar.
I couldn't either. I couldn't figure out how to
Yeah, I
make the
gave up.
emblem. Fuck this noise. I was like, I'm done.
Fuck this bar.
But I believe what's his name? I'm trying to remember. Shinji Makiyami, whatever the hell his name is, the original
Some
director
Oriental?
of Resident Evil. Yeah.
Doing the evil within.
He's he's the original creator of the Resident Evil series, and I guess he said in an interview a while ago, he's like, they're taking their time with Resident Evil 7. They want to go back to the roots. They want to
They
make it
better.
scary again. If it's gonna be anything like the Evil Within is, just the way it looks.
Mm,
That's what they need.
yeah,
Because it is like nothing is scary about Resident Evil anymore.
right.
I was watching the gameplay trailer for the
Cheesy.
Evil Within. He's being chased by that guy with the chainsaw. You could tell
Yeah,
that
yeah.
character was gonna shit his pants the whole time.
Fuck yeah.
It just and you look at Resident Evil, you're running and punching boulders. Really?
Yeah.
That's that's not
It lost
scary.
that. I don't even think someone should kind of like co-op in number 5, but it lost the. It was more cheesy than anything. I
Yeah,
remember
Uh,
Resident Evil 4 getting chased by the guy with the chainsaw, and like maybe 20 minutes playing the game. I'm like, oh my fucking god, how do I kill him?
well,
He
dude,
won't
Resident
die.
Evil 5, the motherfuckers. Like, what the hell was it? It was like towards the beginning of the game. I think it was some black dude with a chainsaw or some shit. I spent almost 2 hours trying to kill that motherfucker just to come out. You can't kill him. You have to run from him.
oh, I've done that many times.
Yeah, and the other shitty thing that had just popped in my head. I'm not like with the X1. I'm excited for new game releases, but at the same time, I realize that it's still a new system, and the developers have to get it down to actually make amazing ass games. But I'm excited for the Evil Within. I'm excited for Watch Dogs, but I don't have high expectations just because the system is still new.
Well, all those games are both multi-console too. They're both going to be on the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah.
Right, right. But I'm more projecting from like a year and a half from now to where it's being used at its full potential, where we'll get actually amazing ass
I'm thinking
games.
E3 is when we're going to see huge updates about games. That's where you're going to see
Uh,
the breakout. Because last year was the console. This year you're going to
yeah.
get the software for
You
it.
see,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
terrified it's gonna be like the PS3 not reach its full potential. We know the PS3
Uh,
had better hardware all around and
oh
still
yeah.
didn't meet
Oh
its full
yeah.
potential.
Yeah, they just weren't utilizing it correctly.
But then you got to think again. If you look back at the 360, go look at Call of Duty 2. That was a launch title. And then go look at whatever best looking game on the 360 was. I mean,
Dude,
it's night and day. It's absolutely ridiculous what they can do when
hands
they reach their full
down,
potential.
hands down, I don't give a shit. Army of Two, Devil's Cartel, that game looked absolutely fucking amazing, like graphic wise, for the
We,
360. Like
yeah.
that completely blew me away.
All I know is I remember the first time I got an HD TV. I was playing Gears of War on an old little tube TV, like a little 18-inch tube
Uh,
TV, and then I upgraded to a 32-inch 720 at the time, which was still like $800. And I
yeah.
stood there and I got killed like 35 times just staring at how beautiful it looked.
Oh yes.
It was
It all
absolutely
comes down to
amazing.
the TV.
I was the
Yes.
same way. I remember Gears 2 launch night. We had a launch night party at my house, me and Mike, and he brought his 32-inch LCD TV, and I had the tube style TV. And I looked going from his to mine. I'm like, this is fucking blurry. I want his.
Oh my god. So seeing how we're all Microsoft people, question. Because I know y'all had a fucking PS2, because that was the shit at the time.
Everybody has a PlayStation 2.
I
Right.
They
still have mine
sold
hooked up.
over
What made
they
you
yeah,
go to what made you want a 360?
the PS3.
Controller.
What? The PS3.
The
No, but
controller for me.
yeah, the main thing was is me and my cousin or FG Nanny Nux or however he pronounces his name. We used to sit around and we beat every single co-op game that our rental store had on the PlayStation 2. And we just got bored of it and we're like, okay, let's rent an Xbox 360 for the night and see what we can find here. We came
Mm,
across Gears of War, never looked back. I
yeah.
went to the store, I bought a brand new Xbox 360, Gears of War at the time. It was I never looked back.
Yeah,
And
fuck
then
yeah.
I did buy a PlayStation 3 twice. Never
Yeah,
cared for it.
right. Yeah, I had
I
both of
also
them
had
at some
one.
point.
once I like, because when I had the PS2, I was still in my early teens, and then I started playing the PS3. I had bigger hands, and my thumbs are just beating off, just smacking each other the whole time. I
Yeah,
probably should have
for
worded that a little better, not beating off.
no, you knew you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was, I want to say NHL '06,
Yeah,
'06
those
or
were the first
'07.
ones, yeah. I believe it was
Yeah, like it
the
was
2K was the first hockey game out.
yeah, it was such a big difference from like it was the same year from the PS2 to the 360. It immediately made me run out and get a 360, and then just because of NHL. And then the Gears of War dropped, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. And it's been
Yeah.
Microsoft ever since.
I have to
Like
say, I think it's probably because it was the first system launched at the time too.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
like I
they were
worked.
out a year ahead before the
See, but
Yeah.
PS3.
the thing though is too with NHL on talking about 360 PS3, it seems like the bit rate is so much slower on the PS3. I don't know if it's how they utilized it or
That
whatnot.
was the big problem with the PS3. They had the graphics, but they couldn't
Right.
maintain the frame rate. Their
Right.
games would run subpar 30 frames a second, as where the 360 was always 60.
Yeah, because that was the big thing I noticed when I had a PS3. With NHL on the 360, you take a fucking slap shot. I always play goalie. When you take a slap shot on the 360, you have no goddamn idea where that puck goes. Now on the PS3, like it's just like like you can track it the whole way when they take a slap shot, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So that was just
Like,
the nail in the coffin to stick with Xbox.
there was that big fiasco. I think it was with Madden 10 when it publicly got announced that the PlayStation 3 wouldn't be able to run more than 30 frames a second, as to where the Xbox was running 60 easily. But it just boggled me because just the power the PS3 had compared to the 360, they just never utilized it
Yeah.
until the very end of the cycle when you
Yep.
seen the Last of Us.
Yep.
I think if that
Yeah.
game would have been like 2 or 3 years earlier, it would have made a
Oh
huge
yeah,
difference in some of the races.
definitely.
But
Okay.
then, yeah,
The controller's just perfect too. I might throw that out there.
Yeah.
yeah.
I am having a hard time with the Xbox One controller for some reason. I don't know why.
I it took me a little bit to get used to it, but now that I've played it a little bit, I tried to play my 360 last night, and I'm like, this thing sucks. It's just like because the joysticks are a lot higher. Obviously, they're more wore out,
Yeah.
and just the shape of the controller because the Xbox One is the handles aren't as long, and
Yeah. Like it's more
it doesn't
contoured and.
it doesn't have the impact triggers like the Xbox One does. But yeah, it's
Which they
quite
come
the
a long
improvement.
way from the original Xbox with the fucking black and yellow key or
That
buttons or
That controller was a
Yeah.
monster. That's the main reason I never owned an original Xbox. And
it was
Exactly.
plus
an
Same here.
atrocity.
plus the PS2 was a monster. There was no denying that.
Well,
Well,
the
and
Xbox
didn't
came
the
out 2
original
years
Xbox have?
later.
Huh?
What?
I'm
They
sorry.
came out way too far in the cycle of the PS2 to even consider it as to be a competitor.
Uh, well,
They
with the
announced
original
like
Xbox, didn't they have like two extra fucking buttons on there?
that's what we were talking about, the black
Yeah,
and
they had the
Ah,
well, no, they had they were white and black buttons.
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
They were right above like where X and Y was.
they're your bump.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's too many goddamn
I
buttons.
I think that's what those were because I don't think the original Xbox controllers had left and right bumpers.
No, they
I
didn't.
think
That's
that's
what
what
they
those
Uh,
don't.
were.
oh,
And
And
they
okay.
then they
realized
moved
the
them to the
fiasco.
top with the
They made them
360.
bumpers because they knew how bad it was.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
nothing's worse than a GameCube controller. So it's just there we go.
I don't think so. Because if you think about it, if you look at it now, the GameCube controller is very similar to the 360 controller. It had the off. It was just. It's the same exact design, but the controller was just shaped differently. Like, because if you look at it, it's the exact same thing. You got the offsetting joysticks, then you had your four buttons on the right and the D-pad on the bottom left. It's an
Hmm.
exact replica of a 360 controller. Or, I guess the Xbox is an exact replica of that with a different shell on it.
Okay. Do we have any thoughts on Destiny?
I haven't seen anything for it yet.
Me either.
I,
I've heard it looks pretty amazing, but I haven't
it's, from
actually
what I
went into it.
understand, it's going to be like Halo crossed with similar to Borderlands with real, because that's another
Ah.
online only game.
Oh. Hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
What
here
I
we
what I
go.
what'd you find?
Dying Light.
Dying Light.
That
That's your
shit looks
Dead
amazing to
Island.
me.
That's your Dead Island meets Mirror's Edge.
Yes. For some reason, it's appealing to me.
Yes, it does. But the one thing I want to talk about the online only thing though, the thing that boggles my mind the most is when Xbox originally announced they're going to be online only, everybody threw a shit fit.
Right.
But now that it turns out the two biggest games coming out are both online only
Online
games,
only. Yep.
Titanfall and Destiny. So that those same people that complained about online only games were the first in line to pre-order those two games, and they're
Oh, yep.
stoking out about it.
Yep.
I don't
Well,
care what it costs. Take my money.
right. Well, what pissed me off, like all the original shit with the Xbox One, I was 100% fucking fine with all of it.
Oh yeah,
All of it.
because people
And
just
then,
seen the negative; they didn't see the benefits of it.
right, and
There's
then
only
it
one
just
I didn't
completely
care
fucked it
for.
all up.
I didn't care for that you couldn't use pre-owned games. You had to buy another code or whatever.
Well,
That kind of pissed me
that was the
off.
entire thing was the DRM. But then
Yeah.
again, that DRM had its benefits, as I could buy a game and you could play it from your house. The
Right,
family
right.
share was
Yeah, the
amazing.
10 group of friends and shit.
Yeah,
Like, that would have been amazing. I would have loved that.
like
I would.
I
Yeah,
could go buy it.
yes, I would have. Mike
Yeah,
buys a game, I can play
again, but
it.
that got taken away with the DRM.
Yeah. Fucking people. They fuck everything up. All they
But
do is
even
bitch,
if
bitch, bitch.
yeah, exactly. But no, that's this day and age. So what do you expect?
And
But
then
even if they
Yeah.
do decide to go digital, it's gonna end up the same way because you can't really
Yeah.
trade digital games.
it's true.
Now, what I
Right.
hope they do with digital is they allow you to gift them to other people. Like you give up your rights and you can give it to this person.
Yeah. That thing, like, I was kind of with it, but it was kind of odd. I don't know. It was just seems weird.
It definitely had its benefits. It had its downfalls. Then
Yeah.
again, they actually listened to the consumer and went and changed everything around.
No, they can listen to the PS4 fanboys and they changed everything and they didn't buy it.
Yeah.
But
It's sad to say that the PS4 does sell more. I have a sign in my store saying we have Xbox Ones in stock and we haven't sold a single one since Christmas. I've had the same 5 since Christmas Eve in my store.
you also
Jesus.
you also don't live in a very big town though.
We can't
Yeah,
get
it's
PS4s in
true.
stock. The second they come in, they go.
Well, another thing is though is Sony's not very good at keeping proper stock. They never have enough stock. And another thing that's huge why Sony's winning the console war is you got to think of the regions it's launched in. PS4 is available in I think it's 47 different countries right now, and the Xbox One's only available in 13,
Oh,
and they're
yep.
only just barely over a million more sales. But there's going to be a huge dent though once the PS4 hits in Japan because that's trying to sell an Xbox over there is like trying to sell a snow cone to an Eskimo. It's just not gonna fly.
Alright.
That's Sony territory is Japan.
That's like
So
Yep.
that's gonna put a dent.
atrocities.
Yeah. But
Let's see.
I think that might wrap it up for this episode. I think we've gone on a little long enough. We'll be lucky if anybody makes it to this point of the episode. So
Yeah, right.
we'd like to
It's
thank
for
you
our
guys.
own entertainment.
Yeah, mostly for us, but we'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with a little bit more Be sure to like, share, let your friends know about it, and we'll be sure to come back next week with a
Like
little
us on
more info
Facebook,
and
Franchise Gaming.
yep,
Franchise
hopefully a
gaming.
little more organized this time.
And getting into video soon. That
Yes,
shall be fun.
we'll be working on video instead of this blank logo you're gonna stare at. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.